Moving on, South Africa has temporarily closed Grobler's bridge into Botswana and other neighbouring countries due to heavy rains. The port of entry is one of the busiest, used by travellers and trucks to and from the DRC, Zambia and Tanzania. Well, joining us now is Peter Mpil, Border Management Authority Regional Commander for the Northern Region. Peter, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. This bridge is particularly used for trade, especially by miners in the Copperbelt region, straddling Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, moving cargo to the port of Durban. It must be a blow for them.
Yes, good afternoon to you and your viewers. As you can see on the background, it reflects the level of the water at the port. The building you're seeing behind me, that's where immigration specialists operate from. While we appreciate the rain and its benefit from the BMA point of view, regrettably, it came with some challenges on the operations of the port. We have been monitoring through the PMC the level of the water with our counterparts from Botswana, as we are aware that the port is situated just after the river bank of Limpopo River, which is relatively thin within the low-lying area. So when the river is full, the port becomes very vulnerable as an overflow of the water. So we have since advised from the point of the PMC and our counterpart in Botswana request the permission from the Commissioner of the BMA to suspend the operations due to safety reasons. We have taken that decision looking at the interest of the safety of the port infrastructure, the port users, including our employees. As you can see, it is no longer workable. Eskom has switched off electricity, and as the water flows from the river, you will never know. There may be crocodile behind me, as you can see. So it's not safe from the user safety point of view. But secondly, we have since made arrangements for the port users, the ports that are available for both commercial and non-commercial movements. We've published those to the port users and the public at large. For the commercial ports, we have advised those that are transporting goods to use Beitbridge, Ramatlabama, Skilpark Heg, Kopfontein as the commercial ports. To those that may want to move in and out of the country for non-commercial reasons, are advised to use Pondreef, Platjan, and Stockport port of entry. We have since beefed up the capacity to those ports to ensure that as we divert those that may have wanted to use the port, they get to be properly facilitated in those ports, as I've mentioned. We felt as BMA that the act of nature, as I said earlier on, of where the port is situated, is just unfortunate that we had to temporarily suspend the operations of the port. We are of the view that the services or operation rather will remain suspended for today. We will monitor the situation and update will be provided tomorrow. So the port users are advised to take note of what we're saying in diverting the movements to those ports, as I have mentioned.
Well, you're saying you've deployed reinforcements to your other ports, like your Beitbridges, and Beitbridge alone handles about 1,000 trucks, a day, and one wonders whether they are going to be able to cope. But what about, is that port, Grobler's Bridge, ideally situated? In other words, there may be other rainfall coming, given the weather patterns these days. And is it ideally situated? Is there no case to be made for it to be moved?
Maybe to put a historical context, so remember that we have inherited as a historical legacy the situation of the port and these vulnerabilities, because it is situated just after the riverbank it makes it vulnerable, of course, for overflow during the raining season. We have since consider, planning in moving forward the possibility of ensuring that the port is situated in an area with the infrastructure that will not expose the port as it is now. But such will need time, will need money, and we are busy planning to ensure that the current challenges that we have inherited are addressed. That will take time. This is the port that BMA has inherited, and we are here now, and we are taking full responsibility, and the plan to ensure that we plan the infrastructure as we move forward to avoid such.
What are the chances of that particular process being fast-tracked? Because as you say, I mean, it's not the first time there are floods, and clearly it's not ideally situated. Are those conversations taking into account the fact that it is a busy port? In fact, about a month ago or so, this is the same port where some illicit goods, cigarettes, beauty products, medication, to the tune of 1.7 million were intercepted. So criminals are also looking for loopholes.
Yes, we from the BMA point of view, we put the business case on what it will take to have the port relocated and redesigned. As you know, it's a capital project. It takes longer than one would not want to see. But it's just unfortunate that the capital project in nature takes long. But we're happy that we've put the business case, which indicate the vulnerabilities, and in our view, what we think if we are to do, we would avoid the current situation, as you can see on my background.
And those people you have deployed to your bait bridges and other ports are, of course, alive to the reality that a lot of criminals do take their chances and may just use the crisis to, of course, commit their criminal activities.
Yeah, in fact, the redeployment in response to this eventuality at Grobler's Bridge is just a continuation of our festive plan. You will remember that our festive plan was to end today. So we've just extended the resources that we have deployed in those respective ports and redivert other resources just to beef up. So the boots on the ground are well aware of the risks that are associated with the movements at the port of entry, including the risk that may be associated with the diversion of the travelers to those ports, as I've mentioned. So they are quite aware and they are well trained to deal with any eventualities.
Peter Mpil, thank you very much for your time. He's the Border Management Authority's Regional Manager for the Northern Region, following that decision that they took to close the Grobler's Bridge port, which is being used for trade, especially by miners in the Copper Belt region who are moving cargo to the port of Durban.